You know, over 25% of our adult population has been incarcerated sometime in their life. So we're not really talking about those people. We're talking about us, our society. There's mass incarceration going on right now. And if I read my Bible right, wherever there's mass incarceration, there's also a mass exodus. God is coming down inside those prison walls and He's touching women's hearts. He's healing them, and they're coming to the end of themselves, and they're saying, this time I'm going to do it differently. This time I'm going to get outside these walls, and I'm going to live my life for God. I see that I have worth, and I see that I have strength. They do need somebody to come alongside of them. They're building a church on the inside. God's building His church against which the gates of hell cannot prevail. But when these people come out to the front gate and their face hits the free air, they're looking around going, where's the church? Well, you know what? We were going inside those women's prisons for 18 years, and one day we decided to say, here I am, God, send me. We decided we wanted to be the portal. We wanted to be the passageway from what God was doing inside the prison to what He's doing with the women when they come out. They have strengths and they have gifts, and they should be unwrapped. You want to unwrap some presents? Consider being a coach. Consider coming alongside of somebody that's coming out of incarceration, holding their hand and holding their feet to the fire as they enter into their new life. He said all things are going to become new, and you can get to be a part of that new creature that's coming out.
When Portal Houston came in and started to make a plan with me, there was comfort. I finally felt like, oh, okay, I found someone that's going to help me.
I was incarcerated for 2 years and 4 months. I started out in county for 4 months, and then I did 2 years TDC. I really didn't have anywhere to go whenever I got out. I don't have any family, and a Bible study that I was involved in prison referred me to Portal Houston, and that's when Rhonda wrote me a JPay and then came and saw me not once but 3 times in prison and prayed with me and let me know that they were there for me and that they cared about me.
I met Rhonda Arias at Plain State Jail. It was during a service on a Sunday, and I didn't even want to go that Sunday to church, but I knew that I needed to be there. And when I got to the service, she began to walk and worship the Lord, and she began to go from one person to the next, and she was praying for him. And when she reached me, she grabbed my hands and she began to speak things over my life that I had been praying about in my prayer closet. And I knew then that it was some reason, and God had something in store for me right there at that service. And so I wanted to know more about her. I set up an appointment with Rhonda through the warden and the chaplain department, and we met, and she introduced me to a coach, and her name was Marilyn. And when she introduced me with Marilyn, it was just like a connection, and they both began to ask me questions about my past and about my future and what did I want to do with my life. And I didn't want to go back to the very thing that God delivered me from. And so they guided me down A, B, C, and D, what they had to offer through the Port of Houston. She shared with me that when she first met me, that she was not in it to play any games, and that if I wanted to make it, that I could, and that she would stand by me and we would make it together. And that it was a commitment. We had to make a commitment.
When I got out of prison, my coach, Tracy, came and brought me home to Whole Heart. As soon as I came in, I was welcomed with open arms. They had food made for me, a basket with clothes and hygiene, and I knew that it was all going to be okay. I had somebody to support me, and I had a network of a faith-based community around me.
Lena's a great coach. She dropped me off, and the next morning, she came and picked me up and brought me to parole. Brought me to go get my ID, and stood by me the whole way with my decision making.
And if I had to tell somebody to be a coach, I would just ask them if they would just pray and ask God to lead them to the right person, because I truly believe my coach did that, because we connected, and it's not any games. It's real. It's genuine. It's anointed. It's appointed. We're equipped for each other. We iron sharpens iron. We lift up each other. We even hold each other accountable. And she even shared with me, it's for me, but I'm a blessing to her as well.
We need you. They need you. Consider coming to our next coach training. Is God speaking to you? If you've ever considered being a coach, consider the testimony of these women. They're worth it.